My next guest, a 5-time first-team All-Pro linebacker, Panthers radio analyst, future Hall of Famer, smartest man in football, Luke Kuechly. Way to win. Atta baby. Let's go. Victory Monday.
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, the last couple of weeks we played really good ball, and then against Dallas last week, the game kind of got away from us. But I'll tell you what, the offense did a great job, and the first drive of the game was kind of the epitome of how the game went. Last week we were driving down the field, playing really well, converting on third down, had good bounce, and then we fumbled on that first drive, and then the wheels kind of fell off. We had 4 turnovers. We threw 2 picks. Bryce fumbled twice, and then this past week we come back, drive right down the field, score a touchdown, and took the lead for the first time in a long time. And I think the best thing for us is we were able to stay in the game with the lead and really lean on that run game. That's what we do. That's when we're at our best, is when we're able to run the football and lean on that offensive line and give the ball to Chuba and let him work.
I loved that Chuba at the end there, because that's the question, like, can they finish? Can they win? Cardinals did everything to lose this game, of course, but I thought they might win at the end. Now they're eliminated from playoff contention. I'm thinking about Bryce, who sarcastically I call Lil Bryce, because everyone just wants to give him such grief for that, even though he's crushing it. 3 total touchdowns in this one, no turnovers. He got back on the field in week 8. What is the one thing that you've noticed about him from then to now that gives you a lot of confidence?
Well, he's playing inside the pocket a lot more than he did early in the year. And obviously yesterday he was able to scramble and extend some plays with his feet. Obviously scored the big rushing touchdown. But his ability to stay in the pocket, deliver a great ball. This ball to David Moore was unbelievable. Unblocked guy off the edge, drops it in the bucket, doesn't flinch, know he's going to get hit. I think he trusts that offensive line a lot more than he did at the beginning of the season. And then on this play, this is just, to me, what everybody has talked about with Bryce since he came out of Alabama. Accuracy, understanding, anticipation, and then just toughness. And then there's Bryce, that smile that we've seen that we hadn't seen a whole lot in the beginning of the year. And then this right here just puts his shoulder down. He's a yard short of the first down, puts his shoulder down and runs right through the defender. So for me, Bryce kind of showed a little bit of everything yesterday. The touch to David Moore, the anticipation, the toughness on this play and on the third down when he got hit across the middle. I like Bryce, and that smile that he's shown the last couple weeks is what we need to see from him, that we were missing pretty much all last year. And this year he's having fun again playing football. And when he threw that ball to David Moore, that ball where he dropped it in with pressure in his face, you should have seen the excitement and the attitude of him looking over to the sideline to Idzik and Dave Canales. It was like they had talked about that play during the week. They got it during the week. They knew there was going to be free rusher, and they practiced it, and it happened. It's so good to see.
I'm happy for you.
Me too. I am too. I'm happy for those guys. I'm happy for Canales. I'm happy for the fans. I'm happy for Bryce. And I mean, I think a lot of this year is I'm happy for Chuba, really more than anything.
Really?
Yeah, he came in and, he learned from Christian. He sat behind Christian, and then last year, I don't know if Chuba's our guy. And then we signed Miles Sanders, and Chuba just keeps his head down, works extremely hard, gets paid, and then just has a career year. He's over 1,000 yards. And the last touchdown to win the game, there was 2 unblocked defenders off the edge, and he ran through both of them, scored the touchdown to win the game. It's just so fitting that Chuba's the guy that goes and does that. And I say it all the time. I wish we had 53 Chubas. If we had 53 of those guys, it'd be a really good football team.
We want 53 Chubas for Christmas.
I want 53 of those guys.
I love
53
that.
attitudes
I don't know that you
like
need 53 Chubas to play spoiler to some of these teams in the NFL. You already did it to the Cardinals after last night. Let's take a look at this. There's like a dead heat in the NFC South, my friend. Whoever wins the division has to go through the Carolina Panthers with 1 Chuba, who's just as good as 53. Let's take a look at the Bucs and Falcons schedule as you see them here. They both play Carolina in the final 2 weeks. Who do you think, Luke, the Panthers match up better against?
I mean, we took Tampa down to the wire a couple weeks ago. I mean, we had them in overtime, weren't able to finish that. I'm very excited to see the Panthers match up against the Atlanta Falcons now that Penix is in the game. Obviously you had the 1 sample size yesterday, played really well. I don't know quite what to expect from them with Penix in there versus Baker. That offense, there's 2 running backs, big Mike Evans, Cade Otton, those type of guys. We kind of know what to expect versus Atlanta. Are they going to be a different team with Penix behind center?
Did you watch much of Penix? Did you see what he sort of presents?
I mean, he looked really good. He played with a ton of confidence. That ball was coming out. He was ripping it. But just the confidence for a young guy to stand in the pocket, to go through his progressions. I think the one thing that has helped him a lot is he sat behind Kirk for, the better part of the season. He's a 24-year-old guy. He's mature. And then he's got really good guys around him. I don't think he tried to do too much. I think the thing that's important for him is when the ball was able to go down the field, he stepped into it with confidence and threw the ball. And then when nothing was there available downfield, let me get the ball to Bijan Robinson in the flat. And that's the biggest thing, I think, for offenses is make defenses just tackle you. The easiest thing for a defense is when it's an incomplete pass or a throwaway. The hardest thing to do is when the ball's in space with a guy like Bijan Robinson, you got to go tackle him.
He was throwing some lasers to Mooney in London.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun to watch. Okay, so let's keep it going here. I want to get to the Commanders and Eagles because those are my two favorite games from yesterday. It was very fun to watch. I know that you were on the call for Carolina, but I mean the Commanders end the Eagles' 10-game winning streak. This is the best team in football, in my opinion, and kind of everybody else's. Jaden Daniels, they put up 36 points. What was working?
I think the confidence that he's playing with right now, and they don't flinch. I mean, they had 5 turnovers. They were down in the fourth quarter. This 4th and 11 right here is the game changer with him. His ability to just run away from angles. I don't think guys understand how fast he is, and I think that's the big equalizer. Is obviously he's great throwing the football, but his ability as a runner is what separates him. And I think it's. I always thought about this with quarterbacks. These quarterbacks that don't run 40s at the combine, you never really know how fast they are until you get out there on the field with them. And it's a scary thing. Is he 4.6 or is he 4.4? And I think he's closer to a 4.4 guy. And for his ability to sit back there in the pocket and deliver from the pocket with a lot of success, and then when the play breaks down, he has the confidence in his legs and his athletic ability to go make something happen. He had that big fourth quarter or that big 4th down run that extended. It got him within 1 score, and then he had a big conversion there on the last drive of the game where they went up. So he's so dynamic with the ball in his hands, and I think that's the big equalizer. When he's able to break the pocket and scramble, it's difficult to get him on the ground. Anything
to worry about with the Eagles? I mean, Jalen, of course, leaves the game. Hopefully he's okay. I'm sure you would tell him, don't rush back, figure your stuff out. Hopefully he's healthy. We're waiting for reports on him. Anything maybe even just defensively? I mean, it's Fangio's unit. They're crushing it. But they got yesterday.
I mean, 36 points is a lot, but, they forced 5 turnovers. Obviously, Jalen Hurts being out hurt them. I wouldn't overreact with that defense. They've got plenty of really good players. I think the biggest thing is they got to score more points off turnovers. I mean, that's more of an offensive stat, obviously, but if you're a defensive unit and you force 5 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles, and you score 13 points off of it, I think that's an issue. And their guys got to stay in the game. I think Gardner Johnson got the boot early in the game. He's got to stay in the game. Your best players have to be on the field when it matters.
Are you doing something different with your hair, Luke?
No. Does it look bad? I need a hairdo?
No, it looks really good the past two weeks.
Thanks.
Are you doing something different?
I got a haircut. I had to go home for Christmas, so it was looking a little messy. I had to go get a haircut.
No, you got like a little comb over, kind of like it's going. It's different.
Little swoop.
Little swoop going on. What's with the swoop?
There we go. Little Christmas swoop.
A little Christmas swoop. What's Christmas like at the Kuechlys?
So Christmas Eve, everybody on my mom's side comes over to my mom's house. She cooks up a big dinner. We hang out. We'll probably see what happens in the evening. Henry, my younger brother's always got a good plan for us. Usually we go to church, and my parents put on dinner. Everybody comes over. Then Christmas Day, wake up, do gifts, have breakfast, and then we go over to my aunt's house, and that's my dad's side of the family. So we've got an action-packed next 2.5 days here.
Do you go out with Henry to the bars there in Ohio and just hang out? Like, how does that work? What's it like when Luke Kuechly's home?
A lot of hanging out at the house. I go see my family. Both my brothers are in Cincinnati. I got an older brother named John. He's here. He'll be over probably tonight and tomorrow night. And then Henry's my younger brother. So a lot of hanging out. Last time we were back in Cincinnati for Thanksgiving, we watched some Bengals football on Sunday. So a lot of hanging out at the house and just taking it easy.
I love that for you. All right, let's talk a little stocking stuffers here. Here's what we're going to do. Santa Luke brother of John and Henry. You give us the gift of great analysis every week. So before the holiday, I would like you to give us your top 3 defensive stuffs of the weekend.
Well, Matt Judon and that Atlanta defense were playing really good football yesterday. Obviously, they had the 2 pick sixes. Jesse Bates had one. Matt Judon had the other. So those are right off the jump. Those are pretty good. Just pressure in his face. Matt Judon makes a fantastic play right here. Takes it back. That was just 1 of 2 scores. Obviously, it helped Penix in that defense or on that offense score. And then the second one, Jesse Bates, was a big touchdown. So I mean, those 2 plays, I think, really set the tone for that Atlanta offense. Hey, we don't have to score a ton of points. We just can't turn the ball over. So Judon and Jesse Bates with that Atlanta defense scoring 2 touchdowns on the defensive side of the ball were big game changers for him.
I love that. What's there's Von Bell, Ardarius Washington. Do you find those interesting?
Yeah, I think the Ardarius Washington one was huge. The game's kind of up and bounds for those guys, and it's just. Russ Wilson isn't a guy that typically makes a lot of mistakes here, but he's able to get around the ball and pop it out here. This is an absolute game changer for him. It takes points off the board, and at that point, it's going to be 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. Ball pops out, changes the game right there, and obviously Lamar Jackson's having a fantastic year. I mean, he's been all over the place, but that play by Baltimore and those 2 plays by Atlanta Falcons were big game changers for them.
I love that. Vikings, they get this huge win over the Seahawks. 4 minutes left in the game. Sam Darnold hits Justin Jefferson. It was a 39-yard touchdown. It was a phenomenal play. I want you to look at it, and just from like a Luke Kuechly defensive perspective, what makes the throw so impressive?
Well, I just think he's not set. He's moving forward. His feet aren't set. He throws a rope to Justin Jefferson, and I think that's something that doesn't get talked enough about with Sam Darnold. Just arm strength and athletic ability, and he's got the opportunity now. It's a too high shell, and he throws it in there right between those 2 defenders. It's a fantastic play, and everyone's going to say, oh, it was a lucky throw. Justin Jefferson's down the field. Let me just throw it down there. But I think he trusts his arm. He trusts his athletic ability. He understands if I rip this ball in there, the safety's not going to be able to go over there. But at the end of the day, I mean, got one of the best receivers in the NFL, and just give him a chance to go up and get it. And that's a big part of what Minnesota's been on the offensive side of the ball is Sam going out there, ripping it, playing with no fear. I think they've always talked about with Kevin O'Connell is just giving Sam opportunities to use his athletic ability and arm strength. And, you put the ball near 18, you always got an opportunity to win. I
mean, Hamilton and I were talking about it all morning. It looks like it comes down to the Vikings and Lions for the 1 seed in the NFC. There's 2 weeks to play. If we could just size up the race here, who do you think has what it takes to be the stronger team for the final 2? And let's look at their schedules. I think we got them here. There you go.
Well, I think it's going to come down. I think whoever wins the division is going to have the edge in the playoffs. Obviously, they're both going to be inside games, but I think the crowd noise at both those stadiums will definitely have an impact. But I think the Lions have just a little bit of an advantage right now, being in the playoffs last year, going to the NFC Championship game. They understand what the playoffs are like. I understand that they're banged up. Obviously, Liam McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson and Alex Anzalone and that defense are banged up. But the Lions' ability to score points in bunches, I think, is a huge deal. It doesn't sound like David Montgomery, his injury is going to be a huge deal either. I think he's going to be back, hopefully, 1st or 2nd round of the playoffs. So I think really just based on, playoff experience, I'm going to give the edge to the Lions right now.
All those teams are great. The NFC North, the fact that it's like this division is crazy. You're in Cincinnati. You're with family Kuechly, who I imagine are Bengals fans.
Yep, Bengals fans.
You, my friend, have been the beacon of hope, the stalwart, really. I even am like, I don't know if this is you're like, no, they've got a chance. And then Joe, again, looked stupid yesterday, an actual alien with this magic that he's doing. How would you defend him? I don't know how much of yesterday you saw, but he was unfreaking believable.
His poise. I think, you look at passers in the NFL. I think he's the purest passer in the NFL, a guy that just wants to stay in the pocket. He's got great mobility inside the pocket. He throws a beautiful football. I mean, that was a great play right there. But I think for him is you got to take.
Look at that! That's so crazy.
It's so good. You got to take away Jamar Chase. I think that's the biggest thing that's really helped them out this year is Jamar Chase. And once he gets the ball in his hands, you got to be able to tackle him. We played them early in the season, and Jamar Chase was bouncing off people, running long touchdowns. Same thing kind of yesterday against Cleveland. He's like a running back with the ball in his hands. I don't think there's a great way to defend Joe Burrow. I mean, he's playing, I think, some of his best football right now. I think when you look back on the season for Cincinnati, they're going to ask themselves, what happened in the beginning of the season? We started out 1-4. If we win one more of those games to start the year, we don't have to let other teams lose. So obviously, I think they take care of business the next 2 weeks, but they need a lot of stuff to fall in their favor. I'm still on the wagon with them. Obviously, they got to go play Denver next week. They need Denver to lose twice, so they beat them. They beat them next week. That's great. And then I think the real question
let's
is
take
what
a look
happens.
at the playoff picture here. I think we got it for you in the schedules. Or no, take a look at the schedules for Luke, guys. There you go. Nope, that's the playoff picture. Let's grab that schedule. There you go. What do you make of this?
Okay, so I think the Colts are a toss-up. Obviously, New York is struggling. Obviously, Miami and Indy need to lose one of those two games. So I mean, Aaron Rodgers playing better football. Does Aaron Rodgers and the Jets knock off Miami? I want the Bengals to win, and I want the Bengals to go to the playoffs. So I need the Giants, and I'll be rooting for the Giants and the Jags and the Browns and the Jets the next 2 weeks.
I love it. You want to erase Jamar Chase, then you just got T. Higgins making that crazy cat. Like, it's just I don't know how you stop them at this point. Nobody, of course, wants to face them, but I gotta give you the love for it. With the haircut and the Kuechlys, like you said, Bengals, and here they come.
Yeah, I'm with them. I want them to succeed. I love watching Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. I love those guys. So I hope they take care of business the next 2 weeks, and the Chiefs do us a favor in Week 18.
All right, we love you. Luke Kuechly sending you and your family all the warmth on this beautiful Christmas. Enjoy time with family. Christmas Eve church. We love it. We're going to take a break.
That's right.
I think we still have Genius Play we have to get to, so we're going to get to that after this short break. Luke Kuechly, do not hang up on me. Do not hang up on me. He'll be back after this. All right, time for my favorite part of Monday. Not for the weekly Kuechly, probably pretty geekly because he sees the game a different way. I'd like to know, Mr. Luke Kuechly, what is the smartest thing you saw on the field this week?
I think Ben Johnson, we've talked about him a couple times already this year for creative and great plays. Obviously, he loves getting his guys involved. Laporta on a touchdown, but the action before looks like Jared Goff stumbling. Gibbs falls on the ground. Everyone thinks the play's over. Everyone slows down, and then Laporta just sneaks behind. How about Gibbs getting his jersey dirty on Soldier Field, and then Goff throws a great ball to Laporta. It's so funny when you think the ball is dead or when something different happens on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of times on defense, it holds you for a half second. Like, what happened? Is he stumbling? Was it a run? What's the play? You take your eyes off your guy, and as somebody sneaks right behind you, it's Ben Johnson's just hangs out and draws up awesome plays that create wide open players for Jared Goff to throw the ball to. So just a good play. They're so much fun to watch, and that's why I think they're one of my favorite teams in the NFC right now, is because they can score points in so many different ways. But little stumble from Jared Goff, little stumble from Jahmyr Gibbs. Laporta just finds himself caught in the wash and sneaks out the backside, and Goff throws it to a wide open guy. So a lot of the credit goes to Ben Johnson. I would have loved to see them practice that during the week and see what that looked like.
We get to hear Greg Olsen on Christmas Day. He'll be in the booth. We just talked to I wanted you two to get to talk to each other about your mutual bestie. What are you looking forward to? That's a really cool thing for Greg.
Yeah, I mean, he 100% deserves it. I don't get a chance to listen to him a whole lot, during the week with the Panthers game. So I'm excited. That game will be 100% on, and I think Noah does a fantastic job. But the connection there is Greg and Todd Blackledge both work with Noah. Obviously, Noah and Todd do all the big college football games, and then Greg's working with it this week. So I wonder how much Charlotte Christian middle school football gets talked about in that booth on a weekly basis. So we'll see if Noah even wants to talk about it. I'm sure Todd talked to him about it, and I'm sure Greg will talk to him about it.
There's got to be a shout out. That's what I'm looking for. I want them both dancing to Beyonce, and I need them talking about youth football. Okay, it's Hunchtime Hamilton speed round. Let's go.
All right, Luke, you're first off. Josh Jacobs' line for rushing yards is 88.5. So what's your hunch? Does he get there tonight against the Saints?
I'm going to give it to him. Obviously, Saints defense, regardless of how good or bad they are, this is the ideal situation. A night game at Lambeau. It's going to be cold. Yeah. Hopefully There's some flurries in the air. This is a perfect example of hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs, let him do his thing, a little play action from Jordan Love. But in Lambeau at night in December, hopefully a little cold and snow, perfect opportunity for Josh to just carry that football.
Don't you want to talk about the grass, Luke? Doesn't that make you happiest? I never see you light up quite like when you talk about what the grass conditions will be.
It'll be a little bit, cleat selection against Lambeau late in the season is huge. It'll feel good pregame, and then as the game goes on, the ground gets a little bit soft. So experience goes to Josh Jacobs understanding the ground, and might be a little slipping and sliding from the Saints late in the game.
And there is a 40% chance of snow tonight, so we'll be on the lookout for that. Jordan Love had the Toyotathon sweater on this morning, Kay. How many touchdowns do you think we see from him tonight in this game?
Oh, man. Let's take a look at, do we have a full screen for this? Jordan Love touchdowns?
Let's bring it up.
Let's see this. I think we see him throw 2. No Kamara for the Saints. Packers have the ball a lot tonight. Whether or not, guys, I think Jordan picks up a couple because the Saints pass defense, not the best. They miss Marshawn.
They definitely do. All right, let's bring up the full screen. Luke, I'm going to start with you. One anytime touchdown scorer from tonight from either side.
Oh man, I'm a big Tucker Kraft guy. This is a perfect game for him. He's built for this. The cold weather. I just love late season Lambeau, cold at night. You can see them breathing.
Luke wants to play so bad.
Grass.
Oh man, this is when you want to play at Lambeau Field late in the season, cold.
No.
Yes.
You're
yeah, that's
insane.
football. On
Gosh.
grass, outside. They're going to be playing that bang on a drum all day as Jordan Love throws a touchdown to Tucker Kraft.
You're not one to talk about drums. You break drums. What do you got, Hamilton?
All right, Kay, your turn. Anytime touchdown scorer in this game.
Oh.
Either side.
Saints pass defense, not great. Love them. They're getting cooked out the slot all year. I'm going to go Jaden Reed here. Jaden Reed, lock it in. Jordan Love, there we go. Luke Kuechly, Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy tonight's action and all the best. Thank you.
See you guys. Merry Christmas.
You're the greatest. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.